Welcome to this practice. This is an intermediate level practice for students who want to find a way to be more improvisational and also know how to integrate kapha dosha and vata dosha, because we are in the transition right now here in the Pacific Northwest between the vata season and the kapha season. So how are you going to balance those two doshas during this transition? This yoga practice will help you to understand that. As you go through the practice, remember that stability matters, and so does freedom. So rooting and rising, but stabilize your shoulders in these poses, and then you'll have the chance to fully bloom into the poses. As you go through the practice, if you've got questions or comments, you can always leave them down below the video. I'd love to hear from you. And if you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. It really helps us to know that this is valuable content to you and to the yoga community at large. Okay, let's go to the practice now. See you there. Welcome to practice. We are having this particular practice as we transition again from vata season to kapha season. So we're going to be working on the principles in the physical body that help us to bloom, that help us to come forth, which does mean we need to have a strong sense of our root and some stability. We need enough stability for that blossoming to come forward. Right now in my garden, I'm watching some things start blooming, like the hellebores have come. They're facing down, as you know, because they don't want snow inside their cups. But also on the branches of the hydrangea, there are the beginning of the green shoots like this. And the daphne is getting ready to bloom also. The crocuses in the neighborhood and the daffodils are starting to come as well. And the birds are returning too. So let's take a comfortable seat and we'll begin. And rest your hands in your lap as you like. You're welcome to close your eyes. As you're arriving, see if you can find a sense of your center amidst whatever turbulence or lethargy or confusion or angst or fog, whatever has been going on for you. See if you can find that place of center from which you have your yoga practice and to which you can constantly return to this inner feeling of center. And when you make contact with that inner sense of center, then begin to breathe into it. And imagine that place of center getting a little bit more spacious, a little bit larger. Going a little deeper into your being, into your body. And also getting a little bit brighter. With the inhale, you can imagine it's a little bit more spacious, a little bit brighter, but also a little deeper. The roots of that experience in your body, connecting to your center. Those three qualities get stronger during the inhale. So a little more spacious, a little larger, more deeply embodied, and brighter. You can summarize that by saying larger, deeper, brighter. On the exhale, imagine whatever fog is there between you and that inner knowing, that fog dissipates during the exhale. Ultimately, we want this internal ananda, the inner radiant self, to be more easily smriti, to constantly remember that it's there. Smriti means remembrance. And we know that in daily life, we are subject to the misfortune of avidya, of forgetting this inner nature. So inhale to make it larger, deeper, brighter. And exhale to dissolve any barriers between you and that deep knowing. And then take heart that the Daphne is only trying to be the Daphne. The crocus only trying to be a crocus, not a rose. The hydrangea is delighted to be a hydrangea, not trying to be the nearby fig tree. The fig tree has no envy for the hydrangea to bloom sooner than it does. And similar for ourselves, we need not be anything more or less than that which we are. And please bring your hands to your heart. May there be a simple sense of joy in knowing this. We can use the word ananda to express that joy. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. Yes, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands. Open your eyes as you're ready to. I'm going to finish this last sip of my tea. This is a saffron turmeric chai that I make. No tea leaves, so I should call it, it's really just the chai spices. So this is saffron and turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon, black pepper, ajwan, anise, ginger, and cloves. Yummy. The saffron is for my brain. It's for anyone's brain. It's for the cognitive experience. And also it's a mood booster. That's not why I feel upbeat in the mornings. I've been this way since I was very young. The turmeric is for inflammation, as you know, and ginger is such a healing spice that it's beautiful to have it in your diet as a regular. It's also warming, so is cinnamon. So in the vata season, the ginger and cinnamon and even the black pepper, they're kind of heating. So it helps with your digestive fire. And cardamom is really helpful for digestion. It's called the queen of all spices. And the other things in there, I'll have to come back to because I just forgot what I told you already. I don't know if I repeated myself, even though I had the saffron. Okay, so we're going to be practicing right now a sequence that helps us to start. For those of you who are slow wakers, this is a practice you can start on the floor, and then we'll be moving into the sense of like blooming and see what that's like. So please join. Let's lie on your back, please. You could imagine that you've awakened from your sleep, but you're still feeling like, oh, I have to lie down. Now, some people want to do yoga in bed, which I think is an interesting way to go about it. However, if you've woken up enough to get up and go to the bathroom and it's time for you to be up, don't go back into your bed. Take your yoga mat as a place of refuge and come to that rather than trying to do yoga in bed, which is a place that you really want to use for your sleep and not for your yoga practice. You also don't want your yoga practice to be in the place that you're mostly sleeping, because you go to nidra. And in yoga practice, we want to be a little bit more awake than nidra, sleeping. So as you lie down, for slow wakers, this can be a way to do a morning practice. Bring your right knee to your chest. Stretch the left leg out straight. Okay, breathe in. And then exhale, reach long through your left leg. Inhale, take your right heel up towards the ceiling. Exhale, slide your hands up the back of your leg, whatever height is the right reach for you, where your shoulders are still resting on the floor and you have not strained your body to reach up to the back of your leg. And then exhale, lengthen through your left leg again. And breathe in one more time. As you exhale, curl up towards your right leg. And then release back down to the floor and bend both knees. Touch your feet to the ground. Bring the left knee in. Stretch out through your right leg. Inhale. As you exhale, make the right leg longer, so focus on the down leg. And then inhale, take the left leg up. Even if your hamstring doesn't straighten, you can exhale and glide your hands up the back of your leg. And if your hamstring doesn't allow your leg to straighten, maybe you're holding closer to the back of your knee or your calf than I am. Relax your shoulders down towards the floor. Breathe in with that quality of deep remembrance, smriti. And then exhale, curl up. And coming back down, touch your left foot to the floor, bend your right knee, bring that foot to the floor. Okay, so you got like a little bit of awakening for your body. Take the arms out to the side, bring the legs together. Keeping your legs as a unit, roll both knees over to your right. Inhale, stretch the left arm. So you've got this like diagonal seam on the body from your left hand to your left knee. And then exhale, open your left arm out to the side like the letter T. Press into your right arm so you can rotate your chest to the left as you lengthen from your left hip to your left knee. And then exhale, roll to center. Keeping your legs as a unit, take both knees down to your left. Reach through your right arm. Imagine this diagonal sash, as it were, from your right fingertips to your right knee. And then exhale, open the right arm out to the side. Press down through your left arm to support the rotation of your upper thoracic spine to the right. As you lengthen from your right hip to your right knee, you may also feel that stretching into your lower back or your outer hip. And then exhale, roll to center. Now let's bring the right knee back up to the chest. Stretch your left leg straight out on the floor. Using a yoga strap if you need to, take the right foot up and hold your right foot from the inside. So I am using my hand. I do have that kind of flexibility. That's not the case for everyone. So use a yoga strap where needed to hold the inside of your right leg. If you put the strap around your arch and then you put your hand into the strap, try to put your hand more on the inner part of holding that strap. And then open your right leg slowly out to the side. And notice when you come out, there is a temptation to tip to the right. And in a moment, you're going to have full permission for that tipping. So just notice what it is for you right now. Okay. Now, with your exhale, pick up your left knee, bring it close to your chest. And then roll over towards your right leg. Breathe in, take the left arm with you. And then exhale, open your left arm, left shoulder, left upper back and chest. And inhale, bring the left knee up towards the ceiling. Keep it close to the chest. And exhale, lengthen out through your left leg, keeping your right leg stable. Okay, so inhale, lift your left knee and roll towards your right leg. And then exhale, starting at the top, roll open, open, open the upper chest. Inhale, bring your left knee up towards the ceiling, keeping it close to your chest. So bring it up over your left shoulder. And then exhale, stretch out. Inhale, raise your left knee, reach your left arm overhead, roll towards your right leg. And exhale, roll the left arm in a half circle, open your chest and heart. Inhale, open the lower body. Exhale, stretch through your left leg. And then raise your right foot up off the floor. Go ahead and hold your right foot with both hands. Take the right hand to the inside of your right thigh and the outside of your right ankle, and the left hand to the outer heel. What you can do is interlace your fingers to support your heel there. Okay, let's keep the hips level for the most part and aim the right knee out to the side and down towards the floor. And breathe in. And then bring your right foot like into happy baby pose, but keep the left arm with you. So you may actually feel the left upper back stretching a little bit. So in this happy baby pose, this is half of that pose. So we could say Ardha, which is half. And then Sukha, happiness, and baby, Balasana, or child. So there's no actual, you can't find this in a yoga text. I'm making it up. Ardha, Sukha, Balasana. So in this position, bring your right knee down towards the floor, stretch the left leg out straight, and the right foot points towards the ceiling. And now open your left arm out to the side like a bloom. And you can stretch the right leg a little bit straighter if you have that capacity. See where the hand is still holding. And then release your right leg out next to your left leg. Notice how your body's going to feel kind of asymmetrical right now because we only did one side of the sequence, but also the right leg got a lot more dynamic stretching than the left leg did. You bring your left knee in. Reach the left heel up. Please take your yoga strap if you need it and we're going to reach to hold the inside of the left leg. I would show you with a yoga strap, but I had to migrate my teaching for a while during the power outage to the other room. So the yoga strap is still over there. So let's take the toes out to an angle to the left and then open your left leg out to the left without tipping your pelvis over. In a moment, you're going to have permission to tip. So just take notice, what does it mean to remain stable here? Okay, and then let's bring the right knee up. That makes the stretch easier for the left leg, right? And then reach over. So reach with your right arm, roll across. And then inhale, open your right arm. Rotate the upper spine, upper thoracic spine, chest and heart. Inhale, roll the mid spine, lower spine. Your right knee is going to come up towards the ceiling, but close to the chest. And then exhale, reach out. Okay, and let's do that again. So on your exhale, raise your right knee up, bring it in close. And then inhale, roll over. And start with the exhale in the upper hemisphere of the body. And this action right now of reaching with the right arm to open, it's more than physical. Bring the right knee up as you unfold. And then exhale, reach out through the right leg. It's also more than a physical action. There's a neurological, developmental, emotional, mental, spiritual component to that too. So exhale, fold the right knee in. Inhale, roll over. So going inside. And then exhale, the movement from an inward to an outward. It can also be the movement from withdrawal to engagement. As you're reaching out to engage again with life. And let's bring the left leg up and go ahead and hold now. So what we're going to do is hold your left foot with your right hand to get ready. Bring the left arm inside the left thigh, outside the left shin. Please hold your ankle. And we are aiming for the left knee to go out to the side. So in my case, the pubic bone is in the midline. I'm sorry, the heel is in the midline of my body, just about over the pubic bone. Of course, the pubic bone is in the midline of the body. That's where it belongs. But the heel is centered over that. Keep the right leg lengthening out on the floor. So some of you may feel even a mild stretch here in your hip flexors, or if you've actually been in a contracted or withdrawn state, you may feel like even the psoas is stretching right now with the right side. Now holding the left heel with both hands, come into your Ardha Sukha Balasana. And it does pull the right shoulder with it, it's okay. So stretch the upper back on the right, but primarily working with the left leg. And if your left leg is now stable, open the right arm out to the side. And for anybody for whom the flexibility is there, you can work the left leg towards straight. It's not required. You're not going to get a prize. And then exhale, fold that in. Touch your left foot down. Okay, so let's say that this was your I'm a slow waker in the morning sort of practice. And that's pretty good. And you're like, okay, I'll take Shavasana. Let me go back to sleep now. Might be a fine option, but let me give you one more thing before you would choose going back to sleep. Really, after this kind of practice, rather than going back to sleep, like in your bed, if you have Shavasana, you can have a kind of yoga nidra, and it can be very restorative. We'll try that in this practice here. But first, please let me also stimulate the center of your digestion before we have that yoga nidra. So take the arms out to the side in a T shape. Bring the knees up to the chest this time. And try to keep them a little bit snug to the chest so that when you're rolling your knees down side to side, it's going to be more going towards the armpit or the elbow, right? This is called Jatara Parivartanasana, the churning of the belly. So exhale down to the side. Inhale up to center. Do your very best to keep the opposite shoulder on the floor. As you take your knees left, keep the right shoulder down. Inhale to center. Exhale right. Inhale center. Taking your time, so it's not rushed. And for you, if you feel that there's a little bit of energy or you've got some vivacity to use, when you take your knees down towards the armpit or the elbow, you can also straighten the legs. And then you can bend them again to transition to the other side if you'd like. And then you can straighten them again. What's going to happen as you're doing this practice is that you're also slowly migrating on your yoga mat. In other words, with each rotation, you're actually moving on the mat. Be kind of a slow way to get around the world, to get about in your daily life. But, you know, centipedes and other creatures, they go at their own pace. You can also choose to do this with the legs staying straight. And that would imply that you have enough hip and hamstring flexibility for the legs to stay straight, so you're not torturing your hip flexors. Okay, let's come to center. Reach behind the knees and exhale to curl up. And then touch your feet down to the floor. If you migrated, if you tangled your clothing, then you can scooch back. It's like an upside down centipede and come to Yoga Nidra for a few minutes. So let's see what it's like to drop down into a place of resting. And again, for my friends who are slow wakers, you're slow to rise in the morning. Let's see how this feels now to have a little recharge by lying still. So your body's going to recalibrate prana in the 5 vayus. It brings your doshas into balance, clears the mind, and is right now moving the lymph, circulation, and digestion. So all that's happening for you. You can close your eyes and drop in. And know that if you'd stayed in bed for 20 extra minutes rather than doing this activity, your day would feel quite different. Appreciate yourself for making it to your yoga mat. Allow yourself to lie very still and for the mind to also become still. It is not helpful to wake ourselves up in the morning with the chatter of the day to come. Rest your narrative mind, your thinking mind, so you can stay more connected to that inner self. Not the narrative self, but your inner wise and loving self. Rest in quiet for 1 more minute. Of course, you can do longer than that if your life is requiring it, if your well-being needs deeper rest, but minimum, we're resting still for 4 minutes. And sort of stay awake to all the beauty happening in your body. Let the thinking mind be deeply quiet. And you can wiggle your toes and your fingers. Please bend your knees. Roll to your side. And come up to sitting. So if you're a slow waker, if you're just slow to wake up in the morning, you're having a day that feels lethargic, you can use this kind of practice. At minimum 4 minutes of Shavasana. I know lots of people avoid Shavasana in the yoga world at large, but minimum 4 minutes. Longer if you have the time for it and there's a need for that deep restoration. And then taking to your meditation seat. Do not forego meditation. As much as people forego Shavasana, they actually forego meditation even more than that. So don't forego it. So rest your hands in your lap. And let's notice now the quality of the mind, even from a short practice. Also observe your inner connection to the Ananda, your indwelling self. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. The inner teacher, the inner self, is revealed through this practice. It is composed of truth, consciousness, and bliss. It is not dependent upon any conditions to shine through. And it brings peace and luminosity. And raise your hands to your heart. And thank you for sharing this shorter practice. May it be a beautiful blessing to your day. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with the community. If you found this practice to be helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do that too. It does help us to keep producing content and offering programs and classes for you. If you have questions or comments, please do leave those down below the video. I'd be glad to hear from you, and we'll make an effort to come back to your comments. If this kind of practice intrigues you and you'd like to know more about how to integrate the doshas and the vayus and how we sequence yoga classes, consider joining us for a yoga teacher training program. You can see the URL for that right here on the screen.